today. This is mostly a test to see how this all works because I've never gone live. I have a YouTube channel where I share how I tie and dye all my things. So I figured I would go live for a second and show you how I tie up a couple of these things. So I've got some napkins here that were stained. These are my sister's. So the first one I'm going to do is a geode because that's everybody's favorite. So the first thing I do with a geode is I grab a random area like so, and I just kind of squish it up. This is artificial sinew. I wrap it around about 4 or 5 times. And then I take my sinew puller and I pull it tight. So that is how you start the geode. And then you just keep going just like that. There are a couple of ways to do geodes. You can do one. That was a lot of tying around, but you can do, I'll show you in just a second. So this one thing I like to do is kind of pull it apart, see where I am, and then take another piece. I like to scrunch it like so sometimes. That gives a more jagged edge. Like so. I'll do one more, I think, on this node. That's what I like to call them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's my first node there with the geode. Just cut it off there. All right, so then I'm gonna spread it out just a little bit like so. See where I want my next node to be. I think I'm gonna have it be from this little corner over here. And I just repeat the process. So geodes are the take me the longest. There are definitely other oh my land. Oh god. Just dropping everything. There are definitely other ties that take longer, but these are the ones that I spend the most time on. So you can see there that just it kind of fell off because I didn't hold this edge. So when I pulled, it pulled all the way through. Another thing that's really awesome about sinew is it sticks to itself. So when I go to untie these, I don't have to cut anything or undo any knots. I just unravel it. So that is a big bonus to sinew. All right, I think I'll do one more and I'll do it right there. This is sticking out right here. I'm going to do it right there. All right. So there you have it. That's how I tie a geode. Oh, you know what? I might do another one just right here so that there's not a big space there that doesn't look like I tied it. Alrighty. So if you're just joining me, I'm showing how I tie up some tie-dye. This one was a geode pattern. I will apply the dye after I tie up a couple more. All right, next up, let's do another one. So that one I used sinew on. This one I'm going to use, let's see, what do I want to do? I'm going to do some classic shibori folding on this one. So what you do is lots of tie-dye incorporates accordion folding. So it's pretty simple. You just fold it over like so, and then back in on itself, back forward that way, and then that way. All right, so that is one accordion fold. You can see here it is like so. And then you can do one of two things. I mean, you can do a lot of different things, but you can fold it like a flag where you fold it. Can you see that there? You fold it like so. And then you fold it back in on itself. And then what you want to do is have the outer edges be out there. This is this black magic? No, this is tie-dye. This is tie-dye. So I am so that's how you would tie it in a um what word am I trying to use? A triangle fold. Triangle fold. So then what you'll do is you can use sinew or you can use rubber bands. So I'm going to use rubber bands and just tie it like that. So that is the triangle fold. Ta-da! All right. Now I'm going to do a square fold. Very similar thing. Sorry, guys. I don't go live very often, so I'm not really reading comments, but I'm sure you're saying all very witty and intelligent things and asking great questions. All right. So I'm going to do another accordion fold. Same thing. I just fold it in itself like an accordion. And then for this one, I'm just going to fold it like a square. So I just fold it in right there. And that is the square shibori fold. I'm going to grab another rubber band here and tie it like so. All right. Next up, how many should we do here? I'm going to do a spiral. Let's do just a classic spiral. So you can see this is stained. That's why we're dyeing here. All right. So you can start from the center or you can fold it in half. You can do all sorts of things. I'm going to start from the center, just a classic spiral. All right. So you just pick it up in the center, twist, twist, twist. And there's your spiral. So when I apply the dye, I am going to apply the dye to the opposite side because if you look at the bottom, it's a much tighter spiral. See that? Than the top. So I'm just going to secure this just a little bit so that it doesn't come undone, but not too tight. There's my spiral. All right. So I've got a spiral, a geode, a square, a triangle. Let's do a fan fold, shall we? All right, let me show you how you do a fan fold. So the first thing you're going to do is find where you want your fan fold to be. I'm going to do it from right here. So I'm going to just take one of my dye pots here, grab a washable marker, and make a little circle there. So this is the center of my circle. All right, so then I'm going to take a piece of string. I'm going to hold on to the marker. You've all done this before, right? Hold on to the marker like so. Find that center and then draw a half circle. All right. So now I've got my half circle and I am going to accordion fold it. So you start right here and you just fold it in. Let's see, can you see? There it is. All right, so you're going to fold it in on itself and then pull it in to the point right there, then do it again. One thing I've found with my fan folds, I don't keep them very neat and pretty. Some people do an incredible job at that. I mostly just kind of get the general shape of the fan. So you can see I'm kind of folding it around the corner there so that I can, it'll end up forming a straight line from the circle. Just going to keep going. I should also note to you all, this is soaked in soda ash. So this has been pre-soaked in soda ash so that the dye chemicals, when I put the dye on, it will bond to the fabric. I actually just barely uploaded a short or a reel. What are they called on YouTube? Showing exactly why you want to do that. If you want to check out my reels, I share lots of stuff there and on my YouTube video, on my YouTube page. Okay, so you can see that was a half circle. Now it's a straight line. So I'm just going to take my sinew and fold it along right there. If you don't want stark lines, you don't tie it as tight. So I'm just going to kind of, I didn't pull that as tight as I usually do. And I'm going to do one right here. Just 3 around. This is sinew again, if you are just joining us. It's just artificial string that kind of is sticky and sticks to itself. I should turn on some music or something. Usually I'm watching Survivor while I tie-dye. So this is weird to just be in silence, but there's probably copyright laws or something if I start playing music. All right, so there you have it. So with this fan fold, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this one in a gutter. So I've got gutters over here. I've got gutters, I've got pool noodles, I've got all sorts of fun things. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here in a gutter, and I'm going to just kind of stuff some pool noodles in and around it so that it will hold that side. And then what I'll do is when I dye it, I'll put it on an incline like this, and I'll add the dye and the ice, and I'll do that after I finish folding here. I'll add the dye and the ice, and then as the ice melts, it will fall down and it will have a cool gravity effect. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. All right. Next up, let's do a heart, shall we? We haven't done anything folded in half. We're going to do a heart. So here I am with another towel. This is not a towel. This is a napkin. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a simple fold in half. Ba-ba. Just like that. All right. We've all done this in kindergarten, right? Where we drew a half of a heart. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to flip that around and do it right here. I'm going to do a pretty big one. I'm going to do a pretty big heart. Just like so. All right, so this fold is similar to the fan fold. You see that? There's a half a heart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accordion fold along this line. I just kind of pick it up, making sure you get the front and the back. So it's an accordion fold like that. And I just keep folding around the corners here. This is the hardest part where you start a bigger turn because you just gotta try to pick up as much of the fabric as you can, turn it as you go. You can come from the bottom like I just did, like that. Again, some people are a lot more meticulous about this. They take a lot more time. My glove is coming off here. But I don't really go for the more like really sharp shapes. I kind of go for more of a, just kind of a casual, I mean, it still is a pretty sharp shape, but it's just not, you know, like some people spend hours and hours doing this. All right, I'm gonna actually tie this one around 4 times. I want a really stark line on this one, so I'm gonna tie that 4 times, and then I'm gonna do it again. So I'm gonna go 3 more times to tie that tight. Okay, so that's my heart. We've got a heart, we've got a spiral, we've got a triangle, we have a geode. Let's do just a simple scrunch. How many more do I have? I have one more. Okay. So this is the easiest way to fold tie-dye right here. You're going to take it and you're going to go like this. Ta-da! And then you grab a rubber band. There you have a scrunchy fan fold. Or not a fan fold. Just a scrunch. Okay. All right. One more. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? I'm trying to think here. We've got a heart. Let's do... So I'm not great at mandalas, but I'll show you the general gist of how you do them. So this won't be a very clean mandala, but it will be a general shape. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half, like so. And then you're going to fold it in half again. Okay. And then from here, you're going to do airplane folds, like you're folding an airplane. So I'm going to fold it in on itself like that, and then in on itself like that, like you're making a paper airplane. And then I'm going to fold it back so it makes a point like that. All right, so with mandalas, if you just do this and you just tie like that, what you'll end up getting is just a bullseye, just circles. So what you want to do with mandalas is you want to kind of tie on angles like this, which makes it really hard. This is why mandalas are really hard. So what you do is you start at the point. I'll start right down here, like so. I've got my sinew here, and wrap on that diagonal. The string is going to want to go on a straight line, not a diagonal. So I'm going to do quite a few wraps there. All right, so I've got my first tie. So now I'm going to tie this way. Pull it tight. All right, so now I've gone that way, and now I'm going to come down on this diagonal. There's lots of different types of mandalas. This is just a very basic, simple one. But if you look in YouTube and you type tie-dye mandalas, they've got different types you can do. All right. So there's that one. Now I'm going to come back this way. Pull that tight. You can see I'm not really following the line very well, but that's okay. We're just doing a general idea here. All right, now I'm going to do this final one, like so. All right. Okay, so we've got them all. We've got a mandala. We've got a triangle fold. We've got a geode. We have a heart, a spiral. I'm gonna flip that over. Just a regular scrunch and a square. All right, so let me pull out something to dye these on. This is what I usually use. I use just an old cake tin. Obviously, if you're gonna dye with something, you don't want to ever use it to cook. And you can see the soda ash has eroded a lot of this, so I have to be careful. The rust on the bottom stains my Formica sometimes. So I suggest plastic, not metal, but I use what I got. You know what I'm saying? All right. and then I use just a cookie rack. So when the ice melts, it has this little reservoir and it's not sitting in the dye, which is called in the muck when if you just put it directly in there and then the ice melts and it's sitting in the dye, that's called in the muck, which is cool, but that's not what we're doing right now. Okay. So I'm going to start with the geode and I'll show you, I'll do the geode and the mandala and this. Okay. So I'm going to use my 3 favorite colors. These are specifically for ice dye, so they'll split into different colors. So I've got Phoenix Flame, Kaleidoscope Eyes, and Alchemist. These are all Dharma colors. So I'm going to start with Phoenix Flame. And I'm just going to take this is like a milkshake spoon, so the handle is really long. And I just kind of scoop in there and place the dye right there. Oops, I sprinkled a little on the wrong spot. That's okay. Happy accidents, happy accidents. So I'm going to put that right there. Then I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to go Alchemist, Kaleidoscope Eyes. Okay, so then this is going to be more Phoenix Flame. So I'll have Phoenix Flame, Kaleidoscope Eyes, Alchemist, Phoenix Flame, Kaleidoscope Eyes, Alchemist. And then with this one, it will be a little more random. It won't be so... I'll have each color, but it won't be in an exact pattern. This one that I'm doing right here is the geode. If you're curious what a geode tie-dye looks like, I have a whole playlist of geodes. Oh, and I'm going to do this. This triangle fold, I'm going to do half Phoenix Flame. All right. Now I'm going to do Kaleidoscope Eyes, which is like it's like a blue that splits green. Well, it's like, I guess it's more purple and it splits green. Put some right there, be really careful. That dye placement. In my videos, I used to really speed up this process and I realized that people probably want to know exactly how long it actually takes me to place the dye. So I've stopped speeding that up. If you watch my videos, you'll notice that. And the good thing about YouTube is if you don't want to watch it this slow, you can speed it up yourself. All right. So there's Kaleidoscope Eyes. Now I'm going to do Alchemist. Alchemist is probably my favorite right now. It's purple and blue, and it is just gorgeous, especially next to Phoenix Flame. Phoenix Flame is, it's like an orangey yellow, but it splits green. It's so freaking cool. I love Phoenix Flame. Phoenix Flame next to Alchemist is like most of the projects I've been doing lately. So that's what I'm doing right here. All right. So these ones will be out of the muck. Oh, I didn't do this little spot right here. There we go. All right. So then what I do is I put ice in. It takes me a minute, so I won't make you sit here for that as I go to my kitchen, but I have these bags. They're like produce bags, and I just put ice in them, and then I put the ice on top of this, and it melts and has a really cool effect. Oh, look at this. That's Alchemist right there. That's Alchemist, and this is Kaleidoscope Ice. So there you have it. All right. Let's set up one more, and then we will sign off. I'm going to do in the muck for these ones. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it racked. So Here's my rack in my tote. Let's do a heart. I'm going to do a heart. It's going to kind of be on an incline here. So I'm going to do the center of my heart, Alchemist. No, I'm going to do Phoenix Flame. So you guys are going to have to wait. Obviously, that's the beauty of tie-dye, to see what these end up looking like. But stay tuned. I will post them in my community tab. I'm trying to use that more. I will post in my community tab what each of these results look like. Typically what happens is I let the ice melt, and then once the ice is melt, I set a little bit of an internal clock for 24 hours. I let it sit for 24 hours, and then I rinse it out. And if people are curious, comment, and I will show you my rinse out process. That's even more boring than this, if you can imagine. But basically the way I rinse out is I rinse in cool water to get out all the dye and the soda ash. And then I bump the water up to hot, and I rinse in hot. Then after I've done that, I use Dawn dish soap, and I sprinkle the Dawn dish soap on there. And is this my, oh yeah, that's my square. I'm just gonna do Phoenix Flame for this one, I think. But I sprinkle Dawn dish soap because the Dawn dish soap gets out even more excess dye. And then I wash in my washing machine in a hot cycle. And after that, the dye doesn't really spread onto anything else. It is pretty much set. All right, here's my spiral. The spiral is going to be a little tricky, so I'm going to put it right here. Luckily, all these colors are the same, so they can kind of mesh together. I'm going to do like a wedge on this spiral here. Make it bigger than that. There we go. Kaleidoscope eyes. This is a set of towels. Usually I don't do all my things these same colors. But this is a full set of kitchen napkins, cloth napkins that my sister stained. So she asks me to dye them for her, which I'm happy to do. I love dyeing things that people stained and they want to bring new life to them. Because I get tired of just dyeing t-shirts and kitchen towels, and I mean, I love dyeing those things, obviously, because I do them constantly, but I like to have a little bit of a challenge, do things I'm not used to doing. Here's some Alchemist on this one. This is just the standard scrunch. Kaleidoscope eyes. And Phoenix Flame. All right. So again, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get some ice, and I'm going to place the ice on top of these things. As the ice melts, it will dye the fabric. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, you guys. A little 30-minute live. Thanks for bearing with me, and what am I trying to say? Dealing with my first live ever. If you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and send me messages on my comments or on my community tab. I'd love to chat all things tie-dye. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks. How do I end it? That's the question.